Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is giving us a bit of a pullback there. It's actually a pretty clear 5-wave move down. The resistance area I highlighted in the last video is respected, and it shouldn't be a great surprise that we see a 5-wave move down. Now that has a major impact on the altcoin sector, as you can see across the sector. Also not a great surprise given that there really have only been a handful of coins that have formed a somewhat solid move up recently. The other ones are all a mess, as you know, only 3-wave corrective structures and so on. So Bitcoin is giving us here a 5-wave move down. So we want to talk about what that means now. We talked about the potential that some kind of a top could have formed here, but it needed to be confirmed with a 5-wave move down. Even though we are still technically holding micro support that we talked about in the previous video, the 5-wave move down that we've seen with a break below that 62,970 level, that was the confirmation that we needed that something more bearish is playing out, okay, and that we are actually starting that pullback already that we've been watching for, which is here, and I've highlighted it on the daily chart again. By the way, if you're interested in a more thorough assessment of the daily chart, feel free to check out the previous video, but I just want to share with you here on our daily chart what the two scenarios are, and in both I'm looking for lower prices very clearly because of the 5-wave move down. I mean, in Elliott Wave, whenever we see 5 waves, the direction should be clear, yeah. And in this case, we're dealing with probably either at least an A wave down in the white count or wave 1 in yellow. All right, so that's possible as well. We could be dealing with wave 1 in yellow or wave A in white. Both are suggesting lower prices because after a bounce, which could be wave B in white or wave 2 in yellow, we should see one more low at least. And if it doesn't hold 55,480, it's likely the yellow count. And then it can send us into the mid 40K region. So that's what I'm tracking at the moment. These two scenarios that indicates a top has formed. The trend line break already gave us an early indication. Would have loved to see maybe one more final push to 67,300, but as I said, you know, what are we talking about? Maybe one more high, but we're pretty much in a topping situation here. So we're now looking for possible support in that region. Now, this support area that we've added onto the daily chart between 55,480 and 60,830, I have now added that to the smaller time frame chart as well. And you can see we're approaching the first line of support here at 60,830, which could possibly provide some support, yeah, maybe for yellow wave 1 or white wave A. I've already communicated resistance on Discord earlier today, but this resistance area will only be, well, it will have to be, let's say, adjusted until we see a somewhat low, you know, some kind of a low in place. Then I'm going to watch for a corrective rally in white wave B or yellow wave 2 before we go down further, okay? And we need to prepare for further downside, given that this is a pretty clear 5-wave move down, I would say. Yeah, this is sort of what I'm tracking. And I cannot really give you a target for white wave C yet, because we need to get this move down completed first, then wait for a B wave rally to complete, which should then ideally complete in the resistance area before we then can calculate a target for wave C to the downside, okay? Or even talk about the targets here for the yellow count. Yellow doesn't really fit in very well in terms of proportions, okay? Because the move down, unless like one of these waves gets extended, it doesn't send us into the mid 40K region yet. But the bigger picture suggests a move down into the mid 40K region. But the smaller time frame, I mean, there are ways how this can morph. You know, wave 3 could extend, and so on. We will have to just sort of go with it as it flows. But this is sort of the pattern that I'm now tracking. It gives us resistance levels to watch. And unless we see a break above resistance, which would tell me that the market isn't respecting my parameters, I'm going to go with this. And it doesn't matter at the moment if it's white or yellow. At the moment, I'm looking for downside. And I'm watching, however, now for a corrective bounce into resistance, but it has likely not started yet, okay? The next, let's say, spot from where it could possibly start is the 38.2 retracement there at 60,837. That's the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.